Good morning, Moonlight citizens. Man on the Moon here with another episode of Moonlight Kingdom. Available on Anchor FM, Spotify, and YouTube. Also, wherever you get your podcast from. Alright, blast off in three, two, one.
I think pirates, but also like maybe to an extent, very slight extent, Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Because yes, it is comedic, but it's also big enough where it gets you like, I guess the word would be box office famous.
Yeah.
That movie kind of put him on the map. It's like, oh, this guy's an actor, and he's kind of good.
Certainly, yeah. With speaking of pirates, Pirates of the Caribbean, there's the producer Jerry Bruckheimer. He said like over the course of the Johnny Depp trial, like he had been working on two scripts for a Pirates movie, one with Margot Robbie and one with Johnny Depp. Like of the two scripts, now that the trial is over, now that Johnny Depp's name is cleared, which do you think is more likely to get made? A sequel where Depp comes back
First,
or a total reset with Margot Robbie?
if Disney doesn't fold, they might make a sequel. If they fold to public discourse, they will definitively, and by that I mean put it in the papers even, that they're firing Depp. If they've completely let go of that idea, then yes, Margot's up next. That's hers, that's her property now. But if they go the base route and they decide to cast him anyway, despite the controversy, one, it would make a lot of money in the box office, a fucking shit ton of money, over $1 billion. And two, it would get everyone talking, and it would create a public discourse and conflict, and cancel Disney and cancel this and cancel that and cancel James Cameron, cancel everyone. So, it'll definitely come with a lot of smoke. A lot of smoke. But they have to be ballsy to take the risk. They have to be ballsy. They can't not be ballsy. They're Disney.
Yeah. Disney Disney, when it comes to their own original content, have had a dodgy. They've been hit or miss, dude. Like straight up Disney movies outside of
Yeah.
princesses and Pixar stuff, and even the Pixar stuff is mostly Pixar. It's not them. Disney's straight up Disney movies have been hit or miss. So it's gonna be interesting to see them with this one franchise that has always made money. Like, where are they gonna go? How are they gonna pull this off? Because weirdly enough,
Yeah.
The Rock of all people, revealed that he's had this to like do a Pirates of the Caribbean spin-off where he's a prominent character, and I'm thinking like, why though? I mean, why
Yeah.
would you have a spin-off with The Rock set in the Pirates universe? Because if you had a spin-off that followed like just Jack going about his life, it wouldn't really be a spin-off. It would just be a sequel. But if you spun off an already existing character, okay, I can see that. But doing a pirate
Yep.
spin-off with The Rock as this totally new character, it just raises the question like, why?
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah,
I
it's
don't know. I feel like there's a lot of unnecessary characters.
yeah.
But also, how would you mitigate the obvious pitfalls of actor getting fired / needs to be recast?
Yeah, I mean, the spin-off would be the way to go because you can't do a sequel. If you do a sequel, the first thing people are gonna ask is, "Hey, how come so and so isn't in this one?" So
but at the same time, you want to continue the franchise. So yeah, spin-off is definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
But the idea of a female Jack Sparrow, do you see that working out? You know, with Margot Robbie in that role, in a reboot of the Pirates franchise.
You see, the issue I have with the casting of Margot. What? Shut up, Siri. The biggest thing with Margot is that there's an element of getting typecast because what they want is a semi-crazy person, and obviously Margot can play a fully crazy person, and she does have that like naturalistic appeal and naturalistic, ruggedness about them. And of course, she's attractive and whatnot, so she'll get tickets. So she is, and of course, catering to the progressive nation. Female James Bond, female Ghostbusters, female that, and this and this. So obviously, the next evolution is female Jack Sparrow, and obviously she's attractive, and yeah, she ticks every single boxes that is necessary. She has a crackhead essence about her. She can act like that. She looks very salt of the earth and rugged. She looks like a girl without being, whatever her character's name is. She looks like a girl from Australia who surfs, and she's always walking on her bare feet, and there's ocean salt in her hair, and her hair is very fluffy, and she smells like deodorant and salt because of the ocean and whatnot. She feels like a very, rugged girl, a very rugged girl. Like she drives a Jeep and works in a surf shop, right? So she does fit that like female pirate aesthetic that they were going for with Johnny Depp. And of course, given his acting, he very much feels like a person who's like a gypsy pirate, like from that era, that like middle age era, like the 1300s or whatever. So I can definitely see how it should be the female version of Jack Sparrow. But I also see the element of Margot Robbie potentially getting typecast.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting route because if they go the route and reboot the franchise, it stands to reason it's not just, the role of Jack Sparrow to be recast because, I mean, how are you going to pull up? If Jack Sparrow is female, then there's a lot of things about the character that's going to change because you can't have Margot Robbie just go out there and do an impression of Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. She's going to do her own thing.
Yeah, I feel like, and the thing is, what that own thing would look like is essentially Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Because she can't act drunk, right? She acts drunk, they just call her a copy. She can, and she very well might. Because I guess the character of Sparrow, in essence, irrespective of gender, is a person who always drinks. So naturally, not even maybe, like all the time, essentially, they would have a little slur because they're slightly drunk. So I feel like naturally that would have to carry over, unfortunately. But I think maybe what could be cut back and dialed down upon is the physical acting, Because if she moves exactly like Depp, now it's just like, well, it's a carbon copy. I think Margot is versatile enough to add her own. She can improv. I believe in her. She can improv and work on her Jane Sparrow or whatever. Once again, the character's name is whatever that character's name is. I feel like she can, she can workshop it. She can improvise it and do something that is unique. but still very inherently Sparrow-esque. But yeah, several things will be the same because it's essentially it is just the episode of What If, where Captain America doesn't get the serum and Peggy does. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
It's essentially, it's gonna feel that way, and it's not just her role that's gonna be recast, like with a female Jack Sparrow. Does that mean Barbosa is now female? Does that mean everyone else gets swapped, or is it just her? Because if it's just her, then okay. Like, thing is, Jeffrey Rush did an amazing job with that role.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like, I mean, since this would be
you see, because now you have to try and figure out, okay, if you're gender bent, who else is gender bent? Because do we want this story to be focused around the fact that it's a woman, or are we only supposed to focus on the fact that this one character is a woman? You know, that's different. When all male characters are suddenly recast as women, the movie becomes about women. It no longer becomes a movie about a woman, which in this case is just Jane Sparrow. Like, she's Jane Sparrow before being a woman. So I think they definitely have to decide, are they all going to be women? Like, will Davy Jones be Dana Jones and it's a female tentacle fucking creature thingy? You know? So, yeah, like, I don't see the merit of it being turned into a woman's story. I do not. That, to me, seems useless. You could do it, I won't be mad, but it's just useless. But fine. Say they do it, and then the point just becomes lost on you, because what was the reason for doing any of this? Or what was the fucking point?
Yeah.
You know, what did you gain? Gain nothing.
Yeah. It's Ghostbusters 2016, aka Ghostbusters Answer the Call, aka just Ghostbusters with...
Exactly.
Jeez. They were female.
Yeah, it's not good.
What did you do different now that they're female? Because the characters are doing what the characters in the last movie did, almost beat for beat. Like, sure, there's changes, but then those changes were needless. Like you said with the Pinocchio dude, like, yeah, there were changes between the Pinocchios, but they were pointless changes. Like, just...
Exactly.
So yeah, it's definitely, if it's just this one character changed to female, but everyone else stays the same, it's like, okay, how's that gonna change the story? Is Jane Sparrow still sleeping with a ton of women and drinking and shit? So
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what makes it so compelling?
Thing is, I had the same question when back in like 2017, it was because Spectre had came out, and there was talk like Daniel Craig didn't want to be Bond anymore. Like, and those were saying, okay, the next Bond should be a woman.
Yeah.
And my whole gripe with that was, then that's not James Bond anymore. Because think about it, like there was the argument James Bond could never be a woman.
Description.
Yeah, just James Bond could never be a woman, dude.
Description.
Yeah, just he's a dude. James Bond is a dude. So if it makes him a woman, then it's not James Bond anymore. It's someone different. So yeah.
Yep.
Also, even if you did, like, okay, we're gonna have this spy who's female, like a Jane Bond. So what is her being female gonna change? Is she gonna? Are there gonna be Bond guys now instead of Bond girls? Like. Yeah. Jeez. There's so many questions. Even when there was the prospect of Hillary Clinton becoming president, it was like, what happens to Bill? Is he gonna be like the first man? Like,
there's that question, dude. Like, what? Eesh. There's so many things that change if we just change a character's gender. Like, but there's throughout this episode, you know, you're just a guy. Kang, just a guy. Batman, just a guy. This dude.
Just a guy. Jeez.
Oh god, dude. Just on the wait, did you stick around for the end credits? Quantumania?
Yeah. The council.
Yeah, the whole council.
It was very underwhelming because they literally had no leg or stake in the movie.
Yeah, they were just watching, man. They were just the watchers. So
yeah, like
they knew he died. They were like, so the exiled one is dead, but like, and it's like, oh, okay then. Like, we saw it all happen, and now that, and they're pissed, like, cause you think they'd be fucking glad, like, oh, like Kang is dead now, okay then, like just.
You know what? Lies and comfort. They know he's not dead. They know he's somewhere lurking, but now he is out of the quantum realm, which is dangerous. That is very dangerous for them. That's why they're angry. Because again, you cannot let him get out of there. Janet knows. Scott knows. Everyone knows. He cannot leave the quantum realm. Because if he's left there and he goes to another place, another universe, wherever he is, that place is soon to be monumentally fucked beyond compare. And they are now scared because they are vulnerable. I mean, they're the ones who ditched him there in the first place. He's coming back for revenge. That's going to be the war.
Yeah,
Part 2.
There were like thousands of them. They
Yeah.
filled out a stadium. The fuck, man?
That might be, what's this? The actual citadel where the Kangs reside. But also, obviously, you know, there's like the Beyonder, which is supposed to be apparently going to be Kang. It'll be a variant of Kang.
It's just so the whole idea that there are thousands and thousands of Kangs from all over the multiverse coming together to do something should be the biggest fucking thing going on in the whole MCU, but it just feels so like I don't know, man. It has nothing to do with the story. It just feels disconnected. Like, it's like the glove scene at the end of Age of Ultron, where Thanos goes, "Fine, I'll do it myself." It's a big fucking deal, but in that moment, you don't know that. It doesn't connect with Age of Ultron at all. Because the whole time, up until Infinity War came out, everybody thought, oh, Thanos must have been watching Ultron fail miserably to take out the Avengers, and he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this myself, because in that context, that's what it looks like. It looked like he was directly responding to the Avengers, but this was a totally different scene, not even set in that year, set years later, after he acquired the glove, and it has nothing to do with this movie.
Yeah.
That's what this scene...
After he had E3 made the glove for him.
Yeah, that's what this scene feels like. It
makes no sense.
It doesn't feel like it's attached directly to this movie. It feels like something that happened, and it was shown here. This is where they decided to put it.
So perhaps this is maybe following the actual Kang dynasty when he dies.
Yeah, the actual
and
death of Kang.
Secret Invasion. Yeah.
Because there was also that scene with Loki and Morbius. They were in like this 1800s fair, and they were like, and then like Morbius looks at the stage, and he was like, "You made him sound so imposing. Like he's, oh fuck, once again, just a guy. Oh fuck, dude.
He's a guy.
Dude.
So crazy.
It's
just a guy.
It's just some dude up on the stage with his big ass afro
talking about like
with the mutton chop.
yeah,
Like,
just
nah.
and you can tell
he's
like
just out there.
Loki, dude, like Loki looks afraid. Like he looks fucking terrified of this seemingly ordinary dude. Like this is just a clip from Loki season 2. That's what this is. That's all this is. This isn't
Yeah.
an end credit scene. This is literally just a clip.
Nah, but like
Yeah.
Loki knows. That's the problem. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows more than he should, and it absolutely terrifies him. I think maybe they need like his tech help, and he's the most I think in the timeline, he's the most accessible Kang there is, because he's just chilling in 800s. He's not bothering anyone. He's just chilling. He pretty much pulled a Doc Brown and Back to the Future. He's like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm just gonna live in
I can live with
1800s. Hey, there's a problem I have
I
with that
respect that.
movie. Like, Doc gets himself killed. I'm gonna say it right now. Doc gets himself killed. Before Marty goes back to save him, like, they get the tombstone. He did that to himself. Sure, Biff killed him, but he caused those events. Like, Biff explained that, because, like,
set off the butterfly.
yeah, he set off the butterfly, because, like, Biff explains, like, after, like, where Doc saved Marty from being hanged, like, he explains that, because Doc is a blacksmith, like, he explains, like, you put the horseshoe on my horse improperly, like, the horseshoe came off, the horse broke its leg, and I broke a bottle of whiskey. It, like, broke a bottle of whiskey I was drinking, so you owe me, like, $5 for the horseshoe and $75 for the whiskey. Like, that's the $80 he gets killed over. Thing is, like, it's like, dude, if you'd done your job, the thing you're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be a blacksmith. If you'd done that properly, Biff never would have fallen, no bottle, no death.
Exactly.
You'd have just continued, like, and then even,
I feel like it's probably like rule 12 of an Asimov cascade.
yeah,
Just like, if you're meant to die, life will find a way for you to die.
yeah, dude, it's like with the mutants in Logan, because in Days of Future Past, it said that by 2030 the mutants were partially wiped out by the Sentinels, and then even though they stopped the Sentinels, by the time Logan rolls around after 2030, the mutants were still wiped out, just by a different thing. Like, it was destined. The mutant race was destined to be wiped out by something around that time. Yeah.
And in this case, it was X and his extremely, extremely deadly and potent seizures.
Yeah.
His mental seizures.
Well,
I guess it just fried around the brain. So
yeah.
I guess died.
He had a seizure. Like, I would imagine, in order to affect people all over the U.S., he would have had to have had a seizure while he was hooked up to Cerebro, because that's the only way he could reach everybody.
Is it every mutant in the U.S. or all world?
It was they didn't say the world. They just said, like, the United States.
U.S.
They called it the Westchester incident, so I'd say it's the whole U.S.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Because I know that the X engine is definitely wiped out. X engine definitely wiped out, but like everyone else is what I wanted.
Yeah. Because to wipe out every man in the U.S., he would have had to have been hooked into Cerebro when the seizure happened. So, yeah, that's what I gathered. But damn, dude.
But then also, the seizures do also amplify his mental power as well.
Yeah.
Which is why he's able to grab control of such a crowd-heavy cluster of people when he's at the hotel. Because, like, the entire hotel is affected, which is like thousands of people. Like, yes, Charles is very powerful, but enough to affect thousands of people at once, not easy, unless he has Cerebro around.
Yeah. Like, Logan was feeling that shit.
I guess.
Yeah. He was feeling it the moment he stepped in the parking lot. Like, oh, it wasn't just
and
limited.
It's so powerful because, like, you can't even walk. Like, you're frozen. Like, your blood is coagulating. Obviously you can't even breathe anymore. So it's basically just holding your breath until it stops.
Yeah.
Like, you are dying every time there's a seizure.
Yeah.
And the longer the seizure, the greater your chance of actual death.
Yeah, with I mean, unless you get killed by Logan and them. Like, Logan could withstand it because of his, like...
Unless it kills you before.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his mind is constantly healing as it tears apart and
Yeah.
whatnot.
In the comics...
Until, of course, he doesn't.
Yeah. In the comics, they explain it by saying it's, like, mind control doesn't work as well on him because of the adamantium coating his skeleton. But, like, I'm like, that doesn't really work.
Which is a weird reason.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, the coating of his skeleton protects his brain somehow. I'm like, that's kind of strange, dude. Like, I mean...
They should have said
yeah.
the adamantium that is on his skeleton is seeping into his blood, which is sending microscopic adamantium particles into his brain's cortex, and that is what is inhibiting his frontal lobe from being susceptible to mind attacks. Something like that. Something real scientific. Not just, his metals are bone. No.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Even the explanation you gave about, like, his brain is repairing as it's being attacked, that's a better explanation than the one they gave. And that was in Days of Future Past. Yeah. So, yeah. I'll give that props. Like, that's a good enough explanation as to why Wolverine is the one who travels back. Because in the comics, it's not him. It's,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not him. So, and also, I feel like he is definitely the guy who sells, you know. Like, okay, Kitty Pryde, she's not like mainstream, but enough people know her, right?
Yeah.
But you can't sell a movie alone. You can't have Kitty Pryde in a movie alone. You can't.
Yeah. I mean, all due respect to Elliot Page, but, like, you Kitty Pryde, I mean, you're not that big of a deal. It wasn't until...
You're not Storm.
Yeah. You're not Storm. It was in X-Men The Last Stand where she really did something of note. Because she's been around since X-Men 1, but it wasn't until Last Stand that, like, they really beefed up her role.
Yeah. And also, as well with Ellie, when you think back to his last appearance, which would have been canonically in DOFP, in a deleted scene where he, like, I guess, sacrifices himself and whatnot, and, you know, he's with Bobby. But, like, if that is the last canon bit we have, what a way to end off. Because that's a character who got no brilliant send-off. Mm-hmm. When you really just, like, think about it.
Yeah, because everyone else...
send-off, just vibes.
Everyone else got a last stand of some kind. Like, Magneto was fighting...
cold as hell.
Yeah, he got decapitated. What the fuck?
He's blasting...
Dude. That movie was hard, dude. Like, that movie pushed its rating, dude. Like...
It was painful. Bro, when I first saw it in cinemas, I was so shocked because these guys were getting killed. I was like, what the fuck? It's barely half an hour. What the fuck is going on, bro? I was so... Because I didn't want to watch the trailer. So I didn't know what it was about. Like, I knew DOFP was like time travel in the comics, but I was like, I don't know where this movie's gonna go. Yeah. So whatever's happening, it's happening, and I'm along for the ride. So I was like, what? What? No, Bobby. Like, I was really like, what the fuck?
Dude, I remember that shit. Like,
and that made me enjoy it much more.
It
felt like Invincible.
Dude.
Watching that first episode at the very end, and then niggas just start dying. It's like, what? But the series just started. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Straight up, dude, that movie went hard, man. Just damn. I remember when like I saw it. I saw it before you. I remember like I saw it before you because I saw it on a Wednesday during the week. I remember telling you like, bruh, I went to see Days of Future Past the other day, and like, man, like I remember like I remember just saying
But I
you
remember
gotta see
I was
this.
like, do not tell me.
Yeah. You just like no spoilers,
Yeah.
dude. Like all I could say was you've gotta see this shit. Like all I could say was you gotta see this. It's like, bruh, I couldn't tell you anything.
I was like, how are they gonna adapt this shit? That was my biggest thing of like, oh fuck.
Like how are they gonna pull
These
this
guys
off?
are gonna attempt to do this.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, man, when you look at like Days of Future Past versus, I guess, the Wolverine, right? The Wolverine end credits and they're at the airport and Charles freezes everything. Okay, that is X-Men Return to Form. But this movie just jump cuts to boom, action, boom. It's been years. Huh? So audacious. And of course, back then, we didn't have like, that like MCU next big bad Avengers movie. Like, we had Avengers 1, that was it.
Yeah.
There was nothing else. There was nothing else to set an example of what a cinematic universe should look like. So there was no huge gripes about continuity, about, but in the last movie they were in the airport and it was still like 2014 for them, and now suddenly it's 2023 and, it's the future. And yeah, okay, cool. That wasn't needed, but I just feel like it was such a crazy execution. A big execution. One that could have failed dismally.
Yeah.
It didn't. And that's so amazing to me. The fact that movie, for all it's worth, worked. That's like so many set pieces, so many plot points. And it's solid. It's in fact, it's not solid, it's good. It's a great film.
Yeah. I would say of the prequel movies, it's the best of those films. It's the best prequel movie out of those films.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. I would put my sequel as X-Men 1, and then in third place, X2, X-Men United. Last one indefinitely is The Last Stand.
Oh, really?
Hey, boy, that movie is ass. Hey, boy. Yeah, that movie's ass, boy.
Are you forgetting about Dark Phoenix, dog? Dark Phoenix is out there. Just saying.
No, but that's a prequel. It's a prequel sequel. It's still part of the prequel trilogy.
Okay.
Or whatever you call it now, since it's more than 3 movies.
Yeah.
But like, boys, those future movies, Last Stand.
Last Stand. There is like one dope scene, and like you know what I'm talking about, with Vinnie Jones as the Juggernaut.
Oh yeah. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. That was, and it's the fact that it's improv. That's the thing. Oh my god. So many actors in the world are credited with amazing bits of improv. That bit is not one of them. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he was cooking. What was he cooking? I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Like, just...
But, yeah, I'm a Juggernaut, bitch. Yeah, but that's something. I don't know. I feel like if Deadpool does not reference that, I will die an unsatisfied man.
Dude.
He has to reference it. Either with the real one, with the real fucking Crimson Band of Sidetrack. Like, give us the real Juggernaut. Not a fucking wrestler from Manchester. Give us the real guy. Give us a real Juggernaut. And Jones. Then you have Wade say, I'm a Juggernaut, bitch. Something like,
just give Deadpool, like, when Juggernaut showed up in Deadpool 2, I expected, like, someone to be like, who's that? And then Deadpool would be like, you don't know who that is? That's the Juggernaut, bitch.
You see?
That would have worked.
It was like, because even Juggernaut, okay, I really loved Juggernaut in Deadpool 2. Loved him. But he was not, like Cain Marco, this god with the crimson bands.
Yeah.
He's just a convict who can get restrained by a car with some fucking metal shackles to bolt to the floor. You know, he's strong, but he's not like Hulk strong, but he's still strong. But he's like, I don't know, where would you even scale him?
He got pieced up by Colossus, man. Just
Who got pieced up by the bitch in Deadpool 1? So that's confusing, right?
yep.
Because how does he cause the accident scene that he did after Deadpool and Cable's fights in that, you know, walking, driving prison? How does he make that big of a mess when he smashes the car in two and the whole bridge collapses? How does he do that? But he loses to a guy who lost to just a mildly strong fucking woman. Because that woman in Deadpool 1, I forgot her name.
It was never defined what her powers were.
Yeah, she's just random goon who looks like Negasonic, like the older version. But like, she's barely as strong as AJ. Why the fuck is she on equal footing?
And that guy doesn't.
Colossus?
Dude, that villain from Deadpool 1.
AJ?
Eesh.
Yeah, nah, it's so weird to me. And look, the movies are great. Don't get me wrong, but that's just the one bit that I'll never be fully comfy with. Like,
The
why
villains.
unless he was holding back, of which I couldn't see because that girl was just piecing him up. She was finishing him, which is weird because she shouldn't have been that strong. Because if she is as strong as AJ is slightly weaker than Wade. That means if she tries to punch Colossus, her bones will break exactly like Wade's did at the bridge. So why is she like fighting him like she's that much stronger than AJ and Wade?
This is a question though.
When she's like a random goon.
Yeah, if you have this nigh indestructible goon who can piece up guys like Colossus, why do you need anyone else?
Exactly.
Think about it. Why do you need
Why
Deadpool?
do you need...
Like,
yeah. Why do you need like 100 gunmen in different cities and different whatnots? Because clearly they can't enforce power like she can. She's like Spider-Man level. Like, what the fuck?
yeah.
And also,
yeah.
what level is Juggernaut supposed to be in if he loses to Colossus? Because, when he breaks that bridge, right? When I watched the movie, I was like, whoa. You know? Because for the entire fight with Cable, he was obscured, right? He was hidden. We saw his arms, we saw his, his eyes a bit, in some scene. He was hidden for a big reveal, right? The fight ends with Wade, and then he busts out, right? Breaks the car in half, breaks the whole bridge in half. I was like, oh, okay, that's the Hulk. Not like it's actually the Hulk, but like the strength level, that is the Hulk. When I first saw that. He goes from that, right, casually ripping Wade in half, like I'm going to tear you in half now, tears him in half, cool. I just thought, okay, he's about as strong as a Hulk. But then he loses to Colossus. Like they're literally Goku and Vegeta it. Like they're equally matched. One punch is staggering the other equally. Like, fucking hell, bro. Get real. I didn't like that. If I see power scaling, like, dude, I really focus on power scaling. Like you know me, bro. 10 years you've known me. Like, power scaling, I'm very particular.
Yeah.
If it's off, it takes me out of the movie. It just takes me out of the movie. Tragic.
If it's inconsistent, you don't care about the character anymore because he's as strong as the story needs him to be.
Exactly. Like, it's just like, okay, but then, and even the whole thing of like, wire out the ass. Okay, I get it. It's a Deadpool joke. That's so crude, man. You're like piercing this nigga's organs. Just kill him, because if you jam a wire up his ass,
A live wire.
he's not going to be able to.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's not going to be able to function. He's not going to be able to shit. He's gonna shit out of a bag. Probably. Just fucking kill him, bro. At that point, oh my god, man. They mangled my intestines. Just fucking kill me.
Don't forget they tossed him into a swimming pool. So and we don't see him come out of there. Just
they killed him. They killed him a lot, and all it took was a rod up the ass and some electricity. Wow, guys. Wow. Mark Cade, guys. Wow. Ain't that amazing?
Yep.
A wire up the ass and electricity. Dead. Perfect. Perfect way to kill him. Imagine that.
I mean, people been saying...
Less potent than an episode of 1,000 Ways to Die. They've literally been more dangerous ways to die on 1,000 Ways to Die.
Yeah.
This guy gets a wire up his ass.
Dude. Man, that's literally people been saying that shit for Ant-Man. Like, hey, why didn't Ant-Man just go up Thanos' ass and enlarge himself? Like, just say it, dude.
You know what? I feel like he would have gotten crushed. If Thanos is insanely durable, and his durability is that of the Hulk's, the inside of his organs and the inability for bullets to reach their skin and pierce it is indicative of the fact that they have durability inside and outside, right? That means if you can't even cut Thor with a random earth weapon, and it has to be Uru, right? That means that Scott's body, which is not Uru, is not piercing the Hulk's skin, and is definitely not piercing Thanos' skin. What's going to happen is that he's going to try and grow the particles, and his body is going to get squished. Unless the only scientific method that this could work, right, is if every time Scott grows, his subatomic decompression and mass is completely overregulated. Which means if he's growing, there is no force in the universe that can contain him, because his atoms are constantly expanding, which reaches past the item that is trying to contain him. So that's a very scientific method to look at it, right? If that's the case, then he's killing Thanos, right? He's killing him. But if his mass is not regulated and his durability, while in that shrinking phase, is still equal to that of a human or a person with that proportional size and strength, and he's dying. The only way he's living, if he has Hulk strength, even while shrinking. But if he doesn't, then he's fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shit.
So, dude, there's a lot to consider when thinking about superhero movies. Because you look at The Boys. The Boys doesn't care.
Dude, the guy
who was in his boyfriend's dig hole.
Yeah.
He was just a regular guy. He had no super strength. He was a small guy. And if he's the size of my thumb and he kicks me, it feels just like a light touch of my finger. He has no strength. If he's a regular sized guy, he has no strength. He's just a guy.
Billy Butcher had him pinned with his finger, man. Like, he had him pinned down.
You see, that's what I mean. Billy Butcher and this guy. This guy's no Ant-Man. He can't toss people as big as he is. He can't do anything. Even in regular size, he can't toss people. He's weaker than Frenchie. So why in the hell, when he grows, he can explode his boyfriend's dick? Well, his whole boyfriend, not just his dick. So a guy with no strength whatsoever can do that to a human body. But can Ant-Man do that? And Ant-Man does have strength in his ant size. The thing is, I don't know how strong he is. Because the thing is, as an ant, right, he can flip. Wait, let's dissect this. Ant-Man's strength is proportional to that of an ant, right?
Yeah.
Okay. and he doesn't lose mass when he shrinks, right? That's what they say.
Yeah.
Apparently, which meant in Endgame, Tony Stark had a 80 kg man on his shoulder.
Doesn't make sense, but keep going.
But I guess it was being carried by the quantum suit. I guess. Because how the hell do you explain it further? Because if Scott doesn't lose his mass, right? They say that he shrinks while keeping his mass. But he also gains the proportional strength of an ant, which is like, I don't know, how strong is an ant? How many times stronger than a guy's ant?
Ants can lift 10 times their own body weight. So whatever he can lift,
so he's
10
like
times that.
10 times stronger, right?
Yeah.
So, as a guy who's like 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters tall, he's 10 times stronger than what he can lift as a normal sized man. So let's say that his limit is like, what, 25 kgs. So he can lift 75 curling, right? If he's just chilling as an Ant-Man sized guy. So if he's tossing these guys, if he can toss a guy in real life, he's just 3 times stronger at doing that. I don't think he can in real life, you know? I think that tastes like shield training. But, I mean, he does well enough.
Yeah.
In training, I guess. But most of his power comes from shrinking, punching you, and then growing. That's most of his, like, and of course the fly.
Yeah.
You know, he's very quick, he punches you. Same with Hank Pym, you know. I mean, obviously, that's how he even participated in the Vietnam War. Like, he was out there in the trenches, murking niggas.
Yeah.
In the Vietnam War. So weird.
Like, Ant-Man is weird because, like, it shows, yeah, you maintain your mass. You don't lose weight when you shrink because it shows when the first time he transformed and he hit the ground, he, like, cracked the tile because it's an 80 kg ant hitting the tile. But...
yeah, it's like a 4 gram person, no.
Yeah. So, but later in that same movie, we see him running along a gun barrel of a dude who is trying to shoot him. Shouldn't that guy's arm just be weighed straight down? Because there's an 80 kg dude running along the barrel.
Shouldn't he fall?
Yeah,
he should fall? Because you have I don't know, like, unless they have some bullshit, right? To be like, okay, he can regulate his mass. So he can choose when to be like air or when to maintain his mass. Unless they say that, I get that. Because that's like an explanation, right? That explains something, you know. Because what are all those fucking buttons on his arm for? You know, he has fucking buttons for days, bro. He has buttons and sliders. He has so much bullshit on his fucking suit, and you wonder, what are those things for? Because he's literally Ant-Man. He shrinks and he grows. That's all he does. He's Ant-Man. So what are these sliders for? This fucking Tony Stark tech slider. It has to be for more options, right? Yeah. Clearly, one of them is like no mass. Has to be.
It's gotta be. I mean, that would explain all the different pouches and shit. But with later in the movie, another thing when Hank he lifts up this little keychain and he shows it's got a tank on it, which they then enlarge.
It should be like 10,000 kgs.
He's just carrying it around in his fucking pocket, like, that just...
yeah, they shouldn't have mentioned that keep your own mask thing.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have mentioned that.
It just breaks the rest of the food.
Because that wrote them into a hole. Because in the many situations that they now have to have things that will become big and small in the plot, it makes no sense. Because... yeah, it doesn't make sense because if you take a product that is naturally small and make it big, like a Hello Kitty Pez, that suddenly becomes like 2 tons, right? Hits the road, cracks the road, right? Yeah. That item began as small, and now it's bigger, so it's heavy. Okay, cool. if you take an item that was heavy at first and then shrink it, what does it become? Does it keep its original weight, or does it keep the weight relative to its size?
Also, dude, the office in Ant-Man and the Wasp, when they shrunk down that whole office building into this little bitty suitcase, like, the thing is, that, like, what the hell? If you're living by the laws you set up in your first movie, that office shouldn't move. You should not be able to pull an entire building around like it's a suitcase, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially since it's concrete, and concrete will, if it grows and shrinks in the same location, fucking cause destruction. If you're shrinking a building, the floor should be rubble.
Yep.
Because you're removing pipes, foundation, everything. This is presumptuously your first time doing this. There's no piping, there's no weird rods, support beams, there's no excess building left over, part of the floor. Does the floor get taken? What's left? Is the sand taken? Is the sand left? If you shrink a building, what remains of the building? What floor are you standing on when you retrieve your building? What is that floor? Is that fucking foundation? What the fuck? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Yep.
Or is the building already proofed and it's already like consolidated? Like it's one big structure. It's one big removable structure. Has it already been amended? Has it already been like consolidated? Like, doesn't make any sense.
The world of Ant-Man. Oh, and another thing, the cars. When they shrink their cars down, they still cover the same distance as a regular sized car. It should be traveling at the speed of a remote control car, man. Like, it's small. You have way more distance to cover. Like, you shouldn't be outpacing actual regular sized cars.
I think that's down to the engine, because a remote control car is just a battery and a propeller and whatnot. Very cheap toy mechanics. I guess even a small engine would move as fast as a regular car. Think of a mouse moving at like 80 kilometers an hour. It'd be fucking scary, but it would move like a car.
Yeah, it would.
I guess,
man. Oh, shit.
It's just weird. It's a weird universe. Like, if Scott grows, and I don't know, like, it's so weird.
The weird world.
And also, apparently, so I guess anyone can become a giant person. It's not just Scott's gimmick, you know?
Yeah, Cassie does it, so... Also, that's another thing. In the movie
and you
when...
couldn't even tell when she was giant.
Dude. Like...
You couldn't even tell. I was like, are you big right now? Is Scott small? What the fuck is going on?
Uh-huh.
Because, like, there's no like volume, like there's no visual data anyway to show you how big anyone is.
Yeah,
there's no indication. Like a nebula tells me nothing. I don't need a nebula in the sky. I need visual data. Give me a building. Give me a tree.
At least when Scott went big at the airport, you could see like the airplanes and everything around him. Oh, okay, he's huge now. Because they're not huge anymore.
There's Rhodey flying in front of him.
Yeah.
Rhodey's small.
And here's another thing I remembered from Ant-Man and the Wasp. When Scott went big and like he chased after that dude, after a while like he got like really tired. Because he said like, yeah, he's big now, but like his lungs are bigger. He has to take in more air. He has to exert more energy, which means he tires out really fast. In this movie, in Quantumania, that's not a thing. That's just not a thing anymore. Like, oh, he's big? Alright, I'm good. I can just...
He's just...
Yeah.
He literally went way big. Like, oh, you're my daughter? My Cassie? Oh, it's hero time. Boom, big alien.
Dude.
We got a deal. You honor your word. He's out there destroying things. He's the fucking second coming of Christ. Like, he's powerful. Yep. How does Kang deal with this guy? He's big. How does he deal with him? But he deals with him. Jesus Christ.
I saw, you know what, dude, I was seeing that, and it reminded me of Ben 10,000.
That one episode where
That's
like,
what I was saying.
dude.
Yeah. When Kevin hurts his son, Ken,
yeah.
and he beats him to a pulp.
But like that scene was more badass than this because Ben 10,000 actually beat Kevin to a pulp, whereas in this one,
Exactly.
it's Scott who
Scott
gets beat
came
up.
with the fade, but he didn't even land the fade. Like, he came there on some kicking buildings, and he never even got a single punch in with this giant size. What the fuck?
He had him pinned for
Pointless.
a second, but then he got out.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Exactly. Like, it was so pointless.
Oh shit, man. Just. Oh, damn. Movie would have been better if it did that though.
Yeah, just more like an ugly phase. Stop with the jokes. Give us actual sets. Give us more plot. More timelines. You know, there's a deleted scene with Scott and Hope's son. He's not real, but he would have been part of the theoretical wave that they pass.
Possibilities.
I mean, each time they think, yeah. So, like, their kid would have been a part of that. It still would have been their real kid, like if they had sex and had a baby in another universe, obviously. So it's not like a fake kid, like Wanda's kids. Well, not okay. Even those kids are real, but like the point is, it wouldn't be like a fake child. It would be a real child somewhere in the multiverse. But it's part of this probability thing, which would trigger like a vision. I can't even say flashback because it's not in the past. It's a flash current. Well, whatever.
Flash
but
forward, whatever.
That probability thingy, it would cause a vision to occur where they're a happy family and they have this kid. And that gives Scott that peace to accept the fact that Cassie's older. Because you look at this movie in the trailers, the people who were like breaking down trailers thought that this movie was essentially Scott bargaining the entire universe for 5 more years with Cassie.
Yeah, to travel back to before the blip.
Everyone thought, everyone thought, okay, he would make a very bad wish with a very bad man, you know, typical story, you know, hero story. You make a wish with the villain, you know, it's just like that Princess and the Frog and Shrek, and you know, you make a bad deal and you get fucked over. But what I don't get is like there's definitely like confusions. I don't know. Because now it's like, has that whole plot just been deleted? Because that seemed like an interesting plot. It really, like, I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, okay. We have some time travel shenanigans. We're going to have young Cassie. They might deepfake that or de-age, because that same actress is not that same age, you know. She doesn't have a chipped tooth anymore, and she's much taller and much older. So I was like, okay, you know, we got another actor, you know, we're going to get some title shit, you know. You're going to get 2013 Scott, and that's going to be very interesting, and maybe halfway through he realizes he made a mistake and he misses older Cassie. Whatever. But then you watch the movie and nothing happens. It's just a contained battle inside the quantum realm. It's like a fucking bottle episode of like TV sitcoms.
Yeah.
Where like the entire episode happens in one room. Like, what? That really shocked me. I was like, bro, why aren't they changing locations? Change locations. What's going on? Like, I kept waiting for it. And waiting.
And it never came.
I was like, no. More quantum realm. More quantum realm. More, look at that. Even more quantum realm.
This
so
whole movie
tired,
had 2 locations. It was the street Scott walks down and the quantum realm.
Yeah.
That's it.
Streets. And if we're talking about like long phase locations, you have quantum realm and you have the Lang slash you have the Lang slash Pym lab that everyone works in. So that's 2 locations. And then several quick locations. Not even several. It's a street, a Baskin Robbins, a red carpet, and a bookstore. Bro, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
It's less than 7. I'm just what?
It's just. Yeah, it's very
I think
much.
that's what really shocked me. Like, this movie went nowhere. It went nowhere when I thought that it could go in compelling places.
It could go
Because it was
anywhere.
called Quantumania. It's
Dude,
mania, bro. What's mania about that?
Like, mania means madness, dude. It's fucking.
Yeah.
Dude, quantum
It's
madness.
Like,
We're gonna.
I thought it was like quantum hijinks.
Yeah.
Quantum shenanigans. Like, ooh, loopy timelines. Ooh, realities. Like, what? Not a single reality. In an Ant-Man movie that has Kang in it? That's egregious, bro. That's a movie with Kang. An Ant-Man movie with Kang has no, like, alternate timelines, dimensions. That's sad, bro.
Yeah. It's a disappointing state of affairs. I think it's due to.
It is.
It's due to a lot of these MCU movies losing their interconnectedness and being these isolated events. Yeah, because this is Dark World levels. Because, sure, as much as the MCU will reference Dark World in later movies to try and make it relevant, like in Infinity War, they reference the ether.
Exactly.
They won't reference anything else that happened in that movie. Not the invasion, not the Dark Elves. As far as everyone else is concerned, that didn't happen. So, yeah. It's that all over again. That's what the main problem with this last phase has been, that nothing matters. I mean, sure, fucking Moon Knight and Khonshu battle a fucking crocodile, what's this, kaiju and Arthur Harrow.
Yeah.
But is it referenced anywhere? Nope. It may as well not have happened.
Exactly.
Sure.
I was even surprised that they completely omitted the fucking man thing portals, because you know that one of Man Thing's powers is that he guards a portal in the swamp, or multiple portals, I should say, that are gateways to the multiverse. I was like, okay, boom, we have Man Thing. That gives us an opportunity to have more elements of the multiverse, because he is a guardian of that specific multiversal rift.
Yeah.
He's the guardian of those things. So I was like, why even introduce him? Such a random character. You have Werewolf by Night. That's fine. Why is Swamp relevant? I thought, boom, multiverse. Did they use him? No, they didn't. So I don't know.
These isolated stories, it's detrimental to the larger story that they're trying to tell, like the multiverse thing. Because look at Thanos. Like you said, we didn't get a lot of time with Thanos prior to Infinity War, but we had like 10 movies of build to Thanos.
Exactly.
With Kang, how many movies did you have?
I feel like what they're doing now.
Yeah.
I feel like what they're doing, and this is a very, very big mistake. They're feeding us piecemeals for a grander narrative that's ahead. But the thing is, these piecemeals are not enough. These piecemeals are only to sew together the seams of continuity. But it's not enough in story. In story, it's lacking, and it's lacking sorely. All it seems to do now is to fulfill this quota of giving you a little bit of canon so that you don't forget. That's all that it seems like now. It's just canon. It's, here's some more canon. Here's some more. Here's some more. Here's some more. For the upcoming, this thing in 4 years. And I hate that now. Because we get told nothing. Everything is vague until it matters. Like, everything is vague until it's not vague. Until it's not supposed to be.
Yeah. It's not.
And that is playing it very, very, very wrong.
It happens everywhere, dude. It's all over the MCU because WandaVision, White Vision is still out there. In MOM.
Where the fuck is he?
Exactly.
Bro,
where'd he go?
Imagine how happy we would have been to see him in MOM, right? Maybe he's also white in this universe for some unknown reason. You know, he can't change his color. He can make a suit. So maybe he's here, right? Or maybe he's the one to turn Wanda. No, nothing. Nothing? Not even in What If? Like, nothing. Zero. No information. He's just gone. No news report, nothing.
Mm-hmm. And in MOM,
They've
we
reported
get Strange and his wife just off on
They're
an
just
adventure
talking about
somewhere.
Yeah, they're having an adventure, and then before everything goes to shit, and Steven is in he's in Sokovia, in those forests. He's like to Wanda, we need to talk. She's like, is this about Westview? He's like, we're not here to discuss that. All right, bro. So where the fuck were you then during WandaVision? Because it was not during No Way Home. We know that for a fact because of the dates. No Way Home is a Christmas movie. That happened in December. All right. We know that for a fact. You were not in Westview. I mean, you were not busy when Wanda was dealing with her shit, because that was a week after fucking Endgame.
And it wasn't like he didn't know about it. He knew.
Spider-Man is a year after. It's a year, bro. That's like, like they were in grade 11, they got snapped. These niggas are 5 years ahead. They're already in college. They're already graduated. Now they're still in grade 11/matric. That movie is their matric year done, and they're having holidays, and they're going to Paris. That movie is not the same time. It's not. So no one can ever say, "Oh, he was busy with Spider-Man." No, he wasn't, bro. Spider-Man is a year later. WandaVision is literally a week after Endgame. So where the fuck was he? And why are you gonna wait a year to come and speak to Wanda about that? And why would she think it's about that? 9 months? No, in fact, like 12 months plus down the line. Why would you think it's about Westview? It's been a year, dog. Where the fuck were you? That still bugs me. Where the fuck was he?
It's never.
And they never cleaned it up.
All
He
they
just said,
yeah.
we're not here to discuss Westview. Okay, my nigga, but when are you going to discuss it then? When are you going to discuss it?
Were you ever
That shit was
gonna
alright.
discuss Westview? Like, I mean, this is kind of your thing. You're the master of the mystic arts. This is a mystic issue. They
literally name dropped you in that show, and you were not around. Where were you, bro? Where were you a week after Endgame?
It sucks.
Were you out there in the Kamartaj slums in an underground battle? Like what was going on?
That was Wong.
You know?
Yeah, fighting the Abomination.
What were you doing, bro?
I mean, we know what Wong was doing. He said like he was battling Abomination to, better train.
I feel like
skills and
Wong
shit.
has been training Emil. Probably since Infinity War days, low-key. Because there'd be no reason he would have a sudden interest in training him. It seems like they've known each other for a very long time.
Yeah.
But how they met is a mystery to me, because they're in completely different worlds. Because, like...
Blonsky was in the raft, dude. Like, he was in the raft.
He wasn't even an Avenger.
Yeah.
What does Wong care about the Raft? Who gives a fuck about the Raft? Wong doesn't care about the Raft. He doesn't care about the Raft. He shouldn't care about the new superhero Triskelion thingy, the prison.
Yeah.
You're a magician. You're a sorcerer. Why would you care about these prisons? Why would you care enough about them to take on this young go-getter and train him? He's not young, they're the same age, but why? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, even
Like,
gave
it
him
looks cool
asylum.
on paper, it looks cool in Shang-Chi, it looks good in She-Hulk. But why exactly are you guys together? What's the point?
Yeah. The explanation is kind of wishy-washy. I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, and I need I basically need to keep my skills sharp, and I can't I can't just fight other sorcerers because they're not Sorcerer Supreme, and I'm way more powerful than them. So I need to find a a suitable opponent, and
Which is
Abomination
like-
was that guy.
Which is
Just-
cap, because bro, Steven is right there. Like, let's not even lie on Steven. Steven has got that dog. Steven is tough.
yeah, he's way
'Cause-
stronger than we think he is.
Even
man.
if you look at the whole thing with Emil, what I had said last year is that Wong is doing a favor for like Val, right? She's training him for the Thunderbolts as like a, in case of emergency break lost, That's what I thought last year and the year before that. I was like, okay, maybe he's fucking, he's doing a favor to Val in exchange for some benefits. Maybe like land or some magic, maybe like some sorcery amendment, like she'll amend some legislation to make certain things illegal, to make the lives of sorcerers better, like there'll be no magic fraud or whatever, fuck, link it to Donnie Blaze even, fuck it, but like
Hey,
I
fuck
thought
that shit,
he'd be
man.
doing a favor for Val,
Jesus.
and then in return he would be training one of her guys, but nope. He just wants to train. But if all the guys, that's the guy. I mean, fine, because technically speaking, Obama would be like top 3 strongest on Earth. Thor doesn't really live on Earth. I mean, he does, given that he was the king of Asgard, but he's left now. So on Earth, the strongest is like Professor Hulk, Emil, She-Hulk. So, lazily enough, it would make sense if it would be like, you are the strongest person on the planet, Mr. Hulk. So, since I will not train with Bruce, I might as well train with you. But even that is just so wishy-washy explanation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The idea, like, man, it still brings, like, okay, we know what Wong was doing. It's like, it still brings this thing of, like, I don't know what Strange was doing all this. When Wong was off fighting in these tournaments and shit. Where the fuck was Strange?
Clearly.
Like,
Strange. I don't know what happened post Infinity War, because it seems to me like Strange never actually officially is the key word here. He never officially had the ceremony to be the Sorcerer Supreme,
yeah,
which I assume
never.
takes like a test. Basically, like the Black Panther, there's
Yeah.
like a trial, there's a this and a that.
I mean, like,
And then you become
Ancient
National
One left
I
him in
think
charge,
since the actual
but,
one
like,
died,
yeah.
he just assumed the role without the actual title. That was a problem. That was a fuck up. And I think it was our fault for never realizing it. This is the one point where I can't blame Marvel, because not once did they ever call him the Sorcerer Supreme. Not once. I checked.
Yeah.
Promotional material, I never saw them refer to him as the Sorcerer Supreme. We just knew he was that because that's what he is in the comics, since naturally he takes over that role from her. So everyone just assumed, okay, she's dead, he's dead now. But he never had the fucking ceremony. I mean, we would have thought he did off screen between sequels. But I guess he didn't, which is kind of weird. Because why wouldn't you, after all, so many years passed and you didn't? You can't even say like war got in the way. You can't. Because Doctor Strange is set in 2015, right, the beginning. The actual events of DR Strange are 2016. Right? That's the actual end of the movie, 2016. You had like a year and a half at least, not even at maximum, you had at least a year and a half to fucking have the ceremony at any time post being Dormammu, and you didn't? This guy is bad at time management, bro.
Yeah.
He's bad. Because how are you going to miss that in between you getting, you winning over Caecilius and Dormammu? How are you going to miss that entire ceremony in that space right until you have to face Thanos? And you still haven't done that. And then when you come back, you dick around when you're back, and you completely ignore Wanda Maximoff, who can use your fucking help. Like, bro, what are you doing with your time? What are you doing?
That is your chance to be rude. make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt, they're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises.